Nearly 8 miles of recreational trails and more than 16 miles of easily accessible ride the city streets with bike lanes and sharrows on Lexington Avenue, Silver Springs Road, Sprigg and Frederick Streets make it easy to roll on for fun and fitness in Cape Girardeau.
The combination of lanes and sharrows along designated Ride the City routes were made possible by a Missouri Foundation for Health grant. It sounds hard to believe, but most trips around town are less than 2 miles, making it easy to travel by bicycle.
I'm real excited about getting the bike lanes in Cape. I think anything we can do to make it safer for cyclists is a good idea. The bike trail's great, the bike lanes are a good idea. People feel much safer if they have a corridor that hopefully divides them from the car. So I think the bike lanes are going to be a great idea, and I'd like to see more of that in Cape.
Well, I think Cape offers a lot of really great opportunities to ride. You know, the one thing about Cape is that it is relatively hilly. So, you know, easier rides in some cases are a little more difficult to figure out. You know, of course, the Osage Trail is awesome. You know, it's completely flat, which is a great place to go for just a casual ride. And that, along with some of the lanes and things, can be linked together to, you know, put a ride together.
Cycling is a great way to enjoy family time and a fun way to get a few needed minutes of daily exercise. Here are a few tips to empower you and your family while biking around Cape Girardeau. Whether you choose to roll along on your bicycle or in your car, be mindful of all roadworthy vehicles. Bicycles are a legal form of street transportation, and cyclists have the right to travel on all public roads, just like drivers, even where bike lanes and sharrows aren't present. All roads, not just Ride the City routes, are fair game for travel by bicycles. Cars, trucks, and bikes need to follow all traffic laws. Be a good neighbor by giving each other the same safety considerations. Drivers can help protect themselves and cyclists by leaving at least 3 to 4 feet of space between their car and the riders when passing in narrow areas. If you have room, pass cyclists like you would another car by using the opposite lane if it's clear and safe. If you're riding your bike and there isn't enough space to share the road with a vehicle, move to the center of the lane so drivers can clearly see you. It's never a good idea to follow too closely, either on a bicycle or in a car. Avoid riding your bicycle against traffic. Ride with the flow of all vehicle traffic on the right side of the road, single file, and don't weave in and out. It's easy for drivers to misjudge the speed of a bike. Drivers should watch for cyclists before making turns. Yield to oncoming cyclists when turning left. Slow down and wait for cyclists to clear the area before turning right. Yield to cyclists using bike lanes. If you can't see a bicycle in your blind spot, a cyclist won't see your vehicle's next move. Cyclists and drivers should move predictably and anticipate as much as possible. Riding where drivers are already looking and making eye contact helps avoid accidents. Drivers and cyclists can share the road best when watching out for mutual hazards and giving each other space. And remember, expect the unexpected where children are riding nearby.
Being aware is probably one of the safest things that a bicyclist and a motorist can do while they're out on the roadway. It's not just bicyclists, it's scooters, it's motorcyclists, it's pedestrians. When you're in that vehicle, when you're on a bicycle, you have to be aware of your surroundings, what's around you vehicle-wise, you know, what's coming up in the road. Just like if you were in a vehicle, bicyclists have to be just as safe.
Keep an eye out for cyclists when opening your car doors on the side of a street or when pulling out of a parking space or a driveway. Use hand signals when biking and turn signals while driving to notify everyone of your next move. Be sure to use vocal signals or a bell when you're zooming down a recreational trail near pedestrians. Before you roll out to ride the city with the whole family, make sure to discuss basic rules of the road with children that are below driving age. Make sure your family knows how to stop at stop signs and intersections, and how to hand signal for right and left turns before heading out on new adventures. It's never too early to learn how to share our roadways, and knowledge is power. Using your car's horn close to a cyclist can startle the rider and potentially cause an accident.
Riding your bicycle on the sidewalk is legal in most areas, except in some commercial districts like historic downtown Cape Girardeau. Since walking or jogging pedestrians use sidewalks and travel more slowly, they have priority over cyclists. High-speed riding belongs on streets, not sidewalks. Since sidewalks are narrower than roadways or trails, please consider the safety of pedestrians and use audible signals when approaching. Using earbuds or headphones while riding or driving is never a good idea and is illegal in some cases. You'll want to make sure to give yourself a chance to hear cars, pedestrians, and other bicycles around you. Wearing lighter and brighter colors when cycling makes you and your bike much easier to see. Make sure your clothing and shoes will not obstruct your movement or won't get caught in your bike. If you're riding a bicycle, you're not immune to traffic tickets. Both cyclists and motorists can be cited for breaking local and state driving laws. Additional Missouri state roadway and safety regulations for bicycles include making sure you can stop on a dime if necessary. Your brakes should work properly. You have to be able to stop within 25 feet when traveling 10 miles per hour on dry, level, clean pavement. The difference is night and day. It's much harder to see a cyclist on the road at night. When riding after dark, you'll need a white light in front that can be seen from 500 feet away and a rear 2-inch square red reflector or red light that can be seen from 600 feet away by other drivers. You need reflectors or lights on pedals, crank arms, shoes, or lower legs that can be seen at 200 feet. In reflective material or lights on either side of the bike or person riding that can be seen at 300 feet, like reflective clothing or gear.
Being aware is the number one safety feature that people want to use is watching out what you're doing, watching your surroundings and being safe. Bicyclists still need to use hand signals, whether they're stopping, turning, slowing down. They need to maintain the right half of the roadway, and they still have to follow all the rules of the road just like a vehicle does. If there's an accident, then we want those people to make sure that everybody's okay. Once they're all okay, call into the police department. They can make a report just like any other two vehicles crashing into each other. We'll come out, take everybody's information, confirm everything, that everybody is okay, and just exchange some information.
Missouri state laws do not require cyclists to wear helmets. But how much is your head worth? Wearing a helmet is strongly encouraged when you ride the city, so use your head. Wear a helmet.
The first thing I'd say on helmets is, the most important thing is comfort. So all helmets are going to meet all the safety requirements. So picking a helmet that fits your head properly and is comfortable is the most important thing. I'm just going to grab one off the shelf here and kind of go through what we're looking for. So I'm just going to try put it on myself and kind of talk through it. Most helmets are going to have some sort of retention system in the back that's going to help it fit. This particular helmet is a universal fit. There are helmets that have different shell sizes. Those are going to be the more expensive helmets. They may fit better, they may not. Everybody's head is shaped differently. And the big thing, once again, is to try on a few helmets and pick the one that's most comfortable, because if it's comfortable, you're going to be more inclined to wear it. And a helmet really needs to become it's part of your apparel that you wear.
Remember to bring a bike lock on your trip. Over 300 bike racks are now available around Cape Girardeau in front of city facilities and businesses and on the campus of Southeast Missouri State University.
With regards to locks, there's essentially two different types of locks. You have a U-lock and a cable lock. To me, a cable lock is very easy to use, it's easy to carry around, and it provides a decent level of protection. U-locks are a little heavier, a little more bulky, but they offer the highest level of protection. I always use the analogy of cameras. You can have a standard point and shoot camera or a high quality SLR or professional style camera. Sometimes the point and shoot's a little better to have because you're actually going to take it with you and use it all the time. To me, that's the cable lock. These U-locks come with the availability of having $1,000 to $1,500 anti-theft. You register your lock, and they will take care of your bike if it gets stolen. The cable locks do not have that feature.
We see approximately 80 bicycles reported stolen to us a year. Now granted, we understand that there probably are more than that stolen. Now our officers also respond to recovered bicycles, bicycles that have been abandoned, bicycles that we don't know who the owner is. With our bicycle registration program, new owners of bicycles or even current owners of bicycles can bring it here to the police department. We'll take a photo of it, gather all the owner's information, put a non-removable sticker on there with a unique number. That unique number, the photograph, the serial number of the bicycle are all put into a database to where if that bicycle's stolen, they can come to the station later and give their name, and we've already got all the information for the bicycle. What color it is, what make it is, if it's 10 speed, whatever the case may be. then that's already on file and we can just file the report. We can get the information out to our patrol officers that are out there, even with the photograph, and maybe we'll have a much better shot at recovering a stolen bicycle.
Keep your ride smooth and safe by knowing basic care for your bicycle before rolling out to ride the city. Complete a quick pre-ride check to make sure your equipment is in proper working order.
Basic maintenance before a ride. One of the most important things I think to do, I call it just the drop test. And you just pick your bike up and drop it. And you're just listening for clunks or anything out of the ordinary. The good thing is if you just do that on a consistent basis, you'll get in tune with how your bike sounds, especially after maybe it's been worked on or something. And you're just listening for, it could be looseness in the headset, which is, your steering part. It could be looseness in the bottom bracket, which is your cranks or your wheels. So, that does a really good job. The bike should be essentially quiet. You might hear the chain rattle or something like that. That's probably one of the biggest things to do. Another thing is, of course, checking the air pressure. Road bikes are very high pressure tires. It's a small tire, and they're going to run in the neighborhood of 100 to 120 psi, which is very high. Because of that and because of the thinness of the tires, they will leak down on a daily basis, really. So we generally recommend pump up your tires on a daily basis, because if it goes from 110 to 80, you're increasing your chances to have a flat, big time. So check the air pressure. Another thing is just, basically, we recommend just trying to keep the bike clean. Dirt will go everywhere, and if it gets wet or sweat or anything, that dirt's going to transport into things. So just essentially wiping the bike down, keeping it clean, wiping the chain, possibly lubing the chain. Those are the main things I would say as far as checking your bike and making sure everything's good.
A good resource for basic bike maintenance and repair for all types of bikes is bicycletutor.com or our local bicycle shops.
The busier we get, the harder it is to find time for a workout. Exercise helps ward off problems like diabetes and heart disease, and doctors say it only takes 30 minutes daily to see huge health benefits. Biking can help you achieve those 30 priceless minutes of daily cardio by riding with your family in the park or to the store. Another way to incorporate a few short workouts weekly is commuting to work using the Ride the City routes and other city streets and trails. Most commutes around Cape Girardeau are less than 2 miles, and adding at least one commute a week by bike is good for your body, mind, and environment. Our environment is everything impacted by our presence. You can help create safer, slower streets for pedestrians and children, as well as quieter, more peaceful neighborhoods by riding the city and replacing some automobile trips with bicycle trips. Increased biking will help your city reduce long-term road repair costs.
Need a boost to get out and ride the city? Besides riding with friends and family, you might consider joining one of the local cycling groups like Giraradeau. Have a smartphone? Consider downloading a cycling and fitness-related app before your next excursion. Many available apps allow you to use GPS to track your routes and save your favorites for future reference, like Map My Ride or Map My Fitness. Avid cyclists in our area enjoy various local cycling events, like the Tour de Corne, Tour de Shawnee, and many more. Now that you're empowered to ride the city with your family and friends, armed with safety tips and rules of the road, it's time to get rolling on.
For more information about biking in Cape Girardeau, visit cityofcape.org/ridethecity and our community partners, such as the Missouri Foundation for Health, Southeast Missouri State University, the Cape Area Chamber of Commerce, Old Town Cape, and Giraradeau.